This is Between the Uprights.
Football is life. The rest is just details.
Here are your hosts, Joe, Matt, and Chris.
We are getting a Week 4 rematch in the divisional round between the Bills and the Ravens. We saw the Ravens absolutely trounce the Bills in Week 4, 35-10. Absolutely did not just demolish them. And they put up 271 rushing yards in the game against this Bills defense, which we saw really dominate Denver and that very young Denver team under Sean Payton in the wild card. But Buffalo is welcoming Baltimore this weekend. And you know what? The winner of this game is going on to Kansas City. And if you're wondering why Kansas City Texans isn't on our page as predictions, key matchups, and X factors, do we really got to waste our time trying
They're
to
the champs. They're going to the AFC title game. Exactly, Joe. Yes. Moving on.
Barring an absolute astronomical upset, the winner of this game is going to Kansas City. So we didn't even have to worry about it. It's not even a thought at this point until the Texans possibly upset the Chiefs, in which case we'll have to address it in the AFC Championship game. But hey, not right now. But I think this game is going to be interesting. The top two candidates for MVP, a guy who almost went for 2,000 rushing yards, and all of the hatred between these two teams, 2,000 rushing yards. Yeah, Derrick Henry, Matt. Derrick Henry had 1,900 yards. What the fuck are you talking about?
The quarterback, sorry.
Yeah, I said, and a guy. I said two MVP candidates and a guy.
That was my bad. I actually messed up on that one. Okay,
yeah.
There you go.
It happens more often than you think, Matt. Don't worry.
Not really.
But there is a lot of big names, and I mean a lot of headlines that can come out of this, and we already know what is going to happen, or do we? But that's why we're here. Key matchups, X Factors, predictions. We're here for it, right? That's what we're here for. And this is going to be the game of the week. But I'm going to go to Sammy. Sammy. Everything I just said. All these matchups. But which one is key to this game?
Key matchups for this game. I'm excited for this game, I want to say. We're talking about like the two best QBs in the league. We're talking about two MVP front runners. The class of the QB in the 2024-25 season, but I'm stalling. I am stalling. Lamar Jackson versus Josh Allen is not exactly the key matchup for this game, and why would it be? Okay, it's two completely – they're on the like different sides of the ball. They're not on the field at the same time. Football is one – defensively, offensively, and that requires names other than Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen. Ironically enough, this is actually kind of ironic that I'm saying this. My key matchups are going to be the number one rushing defense in the league, the Ravens defense, rushing defense, against James Cook and, you guessed it, Josh Allen. And of course, you know, it's ironic. I'm like, oh, Josh Allen has nothing to do with the key matchup. No, he does, because he's a rushing phenomenon. We all know about Lamar Jackson and how he's so good at rushing the football, but Josh Allen is actually one of the best as well. As a matter of fact, I actually kind of prefer Josh Allen as a runner than Lamar Jackson. It's a very hot take that I have. I think Josh Allen can run through people. He's actually very, very fast for a man his size. I mean, he's super durable as well. I prefer the way Josh Allen runs. Now, is he a better runner than Lamar Jackson? Probably not. But I just prefer Josh Allen as a runner. Now, establishing the run game is very important for both teams, but it's even more important for the Bills, and I'll tell you why. Okay, the last couple of years for the Bills, it's just been all about Josh Allen. In order to avoid that, you got to establish a run game. Now, it's not going to be easy because you're going up against, like I said, the number one rushing defense in the entire league. But luckily enough, you have a pretty solid offensive line and a game changer in James Cook. Okay, passing the ball this year is going to be more difficult than in past years because, quite frankly, you don't have Stephon Diggs to get open and create decoys for other matchups. It's not going to happen this year, okay? Amari Cooper is not going to make a decoy for Khalil Shakir. As a matter of fact, it might be vice versa because Amari Cooper this year really hasn't been as special as he has been in past years. Now, I will say this. Also. My X factor, I'm going to get to my X factor as well, is the Bills wide receiving core. Now, I might have stolen Chris's. I don't know if I did, but if I did, I do apologize. Oh, I did, didn't I? I apologize. No, you know what? It's obvious. I'll say it's obvious. Somebody's got to step up. Someone has to step up. It cannot be the James Cook and Josh Allen show, and it definitely can't be the Josh Allen show. Okay? It has not worked in the past. It's not going to work this year. If they want to make it all the way to the Super Bowl, if they want to redeem the four falls of Buffalo, it's got to start with a name that's not Josh Allen. Okay? It's got to be a Khalil Shakir. It's got to be a Keon Coleman. Whoever you picked as your X factor, Chris. Someone's got to step up, bottom line. But I'll go back to my key matchup before we go ahead and move on. Again, the running game has to be established. And it can't just be Josh Allen. It's got to be James Cook. Because if you establish a run game, it opens up everything, okay? The X factor might not even matter because if the run game is going well, the passing game eventually is going to open up. And that creates running lanes for Josh Allen. It creates broken play opportunities for Josh Allen. Busted coverage, everything happens when the running game opens up for the Bills. So yes, of course, both teams are going to rely on the run game heavily, but the Bills need it more for this game.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, they put up 210 rushing yards against the Broncos, and it was very, very clear that that was what they focused on. And the wide receiver core, believe it or not, in that Broncos game, one of the main focuses, one of the wrinkles the Bills employed in there, and I believe Joe Brady did there for them, was Curtis Samuel's alignment was really, really critical for how that Bills defense or Bills offense really rolled out there and to really confuse that Broncos defense, because Curtis Samuel started off the game lined up in the backfield with Josh Allen, and they put him in a lot of different alignments and utilized him very well. And he actually popped off for 68 yards and a touchdown in that game. So, Curtis Samuel could be one of the guys you got to look out for here. But, Matt, I'm going to ask you, do you agree with Sammy's key matchup here? Or is there another one that's got your eye?
Well, first of all, I also prepared key matchups and X factors. And for key matchup, I just wrote run games. So to build on Sammy's point. So we're thinking way too similarly today, and it's scaring me. Is my camera frozen?
No, your camera's not frozen, idiot. Keep going.
My camera is frozen on this end. I'll take a picture of it and show it to you afterwards. But listen, I wrote down run games, obviously, for my key matchup. And I'll get to that a little bit later, but I'll talk about what my X factor for the game was for me, and that was turnover battle. The regular season, you look at these two teams, Buffalo had the fewest giveaways in the NFL. They had 8 giveaways all year. That's less than half a giveaway every other game, basically. That's an amazing accomplishment for them, only giving the ball away 8 times, especially because in previous years, Josh Allen has been the guy who turns the ball over. It's been his only negative in previous years, and this year they had the fewest giveaways in the entire NFL. Baltimore also had the 3rd fewest giveaways in the entire NFL with 11. So, and neither gave the ball away in their wild card wins as well. However, when you look at takeaways, they were a little different. Bills were the 3rd most takeaways in the regular season with 32. Ravens were tied for 20th with just 17 takeaways through the season. So the Bills had the best turnover differential in the NFL, and the Ravens were a little bit further down the pack. So if you're the Bills, again, in this game, I think it's going to come down to turnovers. Which one of these two teams can take care of the ball and which one of them can take it away, especially because these two quarterbacks in the playoffs have made some mistakes in previous years. But as far as the run games matchup goes, I mean, Sammy hit it on the head. I mean, you look at the wild card round, Bills outrushed the Broncos 210-79. They rushed for 210 yards. Broncos had 79. The Ravens outrushed the Steelers 299-29. 270-yard difference in the run games for the Ravens over the Steelers on last week on Saturday when they played. And then when you look at their matchup as well, their individual matchup, Buffalo and Baltimore in week 5, the Ravens dominated the run game. It was 271-81 there. So again, the Ravens are going to have more rushing yards in this game because of Lamar Jackson, because of Derrick Henry, just because they're better, and because Baltimore has the best run defense in the NFL as well. But again, a good run game leads to a lot of really good things. It makes third and fourth down shorter and easier to get, especially with high-level dual-threat quarterbacks like Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson are. They can easily pick up a 3rd and 2, just scrambling out, run towards the sideline and getting 3 yards. And then as well, you look at the third down and 4th downs versus Pittsburgh for the Ravens, 10 for 15 on 3rd and 4th down against the Steelers for the Ravens, and then the Bills were 10 of 17 on 3rd and 4th down against the Broncos. So again, a good run game leads to a lot better 3rd down percentage, and then plus the Ravens have a big third and fourth down advantage in their matchup as well, their individual matchup. Ravens were 5 for 9 and the Bills were 4 for 13. So again, when you run the ball well and you convert third and fourth downs, that also allows you to control and possess the clock. So again, time of possession is going to be crucial in this game as well. In the wild card round, the Bills won their time of possession battle over the Broncos 42-18, basically. It was 42 minutes to 18 minutes for the Broncos in time of possession, and the Ravens was 40-20 versus the Steelers. So, and the Ravens won the time of possession battle in their individual matchup. So again, the time of possession is crucial because it keeps the other quarterback off the field. So to build on Sammy's point, again, running the football is going to be crucial for a number of reasons. Obviously, it makes third and fourth downs easier. You control the clock, keep the other team off the field. And again, you have a good run game. It kind of demoralizes the other defense and makes it hard for them to really kind of keep after their game plan. So I think Baltimore has if they have a big advantage in the rushing game, like if they have 190 more yards in this game than the Bills do rushing, again, they're going to win this game. But if Buffalo can keep it close, or if Buffalo has the advantage, I see them having the advantage in the game too. So I think it's going to come down to turnover battle, and then, like Sammy mentioned, the run games for both teams.
Yeah, the run games for both teams in the regular season were both very, very good. I mean, the Bills went for about 2,200 yards and 32 rushing touchdowns. Both James Cook and Josh Allen had 12-plus touchdowns. Josh Allen had 12, James Cook had 16. And you look at the Ravens, they went over 3,000 yards, but they only had 21 rushing touchdowns, which I think is like, everyone's like, only 21 rushing touchdowns. That's still a lot of fucking rushing touchdowns. They just didn't have a two-headed scoring monster like James Cook and Josh Allen. So both of these teams can run the football and probably are going to want to lean on that and this is going to be a very physical upfront game with realistically a quarterback running back duo on both teams that can do it. But you know what? It's time for our X Factor expert, Chris. Who is the X Factor for this game that's going to decide it?
All right. So I think you guys have pretty much already alluded to the importance on both sides, the defense holding the rushing attack of each team's and vice versa, the rushing attack for each team being kind of premier. So what I want to look at as far as X factors is I don't think that the X factors that I'm going to bring up, I mean, Sammy kind of touched on it, but not the two that I was actually pointing to, which I appreciate. Thank you. Appreciate that. Let me still get it in. So when I look at it, because when you look at the last game that they had against the Broncos, they already had two wide receivers who kind of found their way, right? We know that that Shakir is kind of his go-to, right? I feel like that's his comfort. When that guy's open and he needs to play, that's where he's going. And then I feel like Curtis Samuel just kind of show who he is in the last couple games. He's really started to kind of find his way with the Bills. So I feel like for the Ravens defense, I would think their secondary would be looking at trying to keep those guys kind of set on the sidelines, not necessarily taking over the games. So if you're looking at Curtis Samuel and Shakir as the top two that you're going to be paying attention to defense-wise, then there's two that really need to step up. And they have stepped up pretty much throughout the season, but they need to have huge monster games if they want to take this game over, if they want to win against the Ravens and get to the AFC Championship. And that has to be Dalton Kincaid and Keon Coleman, their rookie. They both need it. So what I expect, so the Ravens have the 31st ranked passing defense. They gave up about 252 passing yards for Russell Wilson, right? They didn't really have a lot going on with their offense to begin with, and they already gave that amount up. So they're completely different from what you look at when you're looking at Josh Allen, the MVP candidate, where it's two completely different quarterbacks. So I would expect the Ravens to try to eliminate Curtis Samuel and try to eliminate Shakir. So what you want to see from both is you want to see Kincaid and Coleman. Basically, I would think personally in the middle of the field should be easy go for them. If they're trying to take out his first two wide receivers, I would think his tight end and his third wide receiver should be pretty much open throughout the entire game. If he can get the ball to both of them, I would expect big plays. If you look at it over the season, Kincaid averaged 10.2 yards per reception. He didn't miss very many receptions, and when he did, it was always over 10 yards. And then you also look at Coleman as a rookie. He didn't miss a lot, and he averaged 19.2 yards on average of reception. So you're looking at basically you're taking over the game just by having those two be able to actually make the plays that they need to make, because that doesn't take you off the field. So what does that do? That keeps the Ravens offense on the sideline, which is exactly where you want them to be. So that you don't have to worry about Lamar Jackson shimmying out and getting 90 yards down the damn field, or Derrick Henry taking over the game, because they're too busy on the field. So therefore, for me, those are my two X factors specifically for the Bills in order for them to even have an opportunity to take over this game, to beat the Ravens. Dalton Kincaid needs a huge game. Keon Coleman, as a rookie, has to come in, have a good game. And I think that will pretty much open it up anywhere else for everybody else to show up. And then also, if you look at it, maybe even so, is like you might see some, because it's playoff time, right? So you start getting the sneaky plays, right? So you might see a 4th and 1, a 4th, because you know that they're not going to give the ball back as much as they can. They're not going to look at punting or trying to get field goals. They want touchdowns. So what I feel is like you can look at a 4th and 1 and a 4th and 2. And what are they going to expect? They're going to expect a QB sneak, right? Everybody's going to expect that. They're going to expect Josh Allen take the ball and QB sneak. What if they fake the QB sneak and they get a downfield pass to a Kincaid or a Coleman and it goes for a touchdown? That changes the game. That changes what that defense has to think about when they're in 4th and 1 and 4th and 2, because I don't think that they're going to limit themselves to field goals or punts, because they already know that the Ravens are going to try their best to put as many points up as possible. So in order to keep in touch with them, they have to do the same. So I think for me, those are the two big ones. Coleman has to have a big one. Kincaid has to have a big one, and it might give them a good opportunity to take the Ravens out.
Yeah, I mean, this game is going to be interesting, and those are very, very good possibilities as X factors. I like those a lot. We've seen Keon Coleman be very, very critical, and in that Broncos game, it seemed like everyone on the offensive side wearing a Bills jersey was just dominating. Any matchup that they got in that game, which was really surprising of how good that Broncos defense really looked coming into that game. But I think it's funny that the Baltimore Ravens have only allowed 3 teams all year to score 30 or more points against them. Meanwhile, the Buffalo Bills have scored 30 or more points in 12 games. 12 games. It is going to be absolutely incredible to see which one of those ends up breaking. Because honestly, the Ravens in the last 5 haven't allowed 20 points. All right. And the Bills have been jumping 30 or 40 on everybody outside of 2 matchups with the Patriots where, they rested starters in one. Okay. And they absolutely didn't look right in the first one. So I think this game is decided by who goes over 30 points. And I only think one team does. I only think one team goes over 30 points. And I have been out on the Bills defense, run defense specifically, and their pass defense, really just their defense in general, up until that Broncos game, pretty much all year. I didn't think that the Bills defense had what it take to really, do what they needed to do. And I thought that the Patriots really showed a way to slow down Josh Allen and kind of keep him in there. And I think the Ravens can match up very well in that. I thought the Broncos would match up better than that, and it just didn't happen. So why would I fall for the same trick again? I'm going Bills 31-28. Justin Tucker sends the game-tying field goal wide right to cap off one of the worst seasons of his career. Bills going to AFC Championship, baby.
Listen, man, I'm just gonna take the reins here, and I'm gonna go. My score, you said 31-28. My score, I have it written down, is 30-27. Okay, so again, we're literally.
What the hell's going on today?
I have this is crazy. And if you guys don't understand what's going on, watch the previous videos, because we're predicting like basically the same score every time, and it's pissing me off. Anyways, okay. I think we're downplaying how amazing this game's going to be. I don't think we've hyped this game up, and like, this game is so sick. Like, this is easily my favorite game of Wildcard Weekend. It should be everybody's favorite game of Wildcard Weekend, because this game is incredible. And it's also cool because I don't have like super big stake in either of these teams. So I can just sit there and watch the game and just like not root for anybody really. Obviously I want to be right, but just sit there and watch and enjoy an incredible football game, because that's what's going to be. And again, like Joe mentioned, you mentioned at the beginning, but I don't think you mentioned it hard enough. Okay. You got to mention it more. You got to mention it better. Okay. The amount that's on the line in this game is unbelievable. Okay. Obviously it's the playoffs. Winner goes to the AFC Championship game, like we talked about in Kansas City. No disrespect to Houston, but it's going to be in Kansas City. And then the loser is done. They're out of the playoffs. And again, we have this huge MVP debate all year. Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson. Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson. Well, it's going to get solved whether you like it or not during this game, okay? And we're going to find out whether we made the right choice a little bit later on when the MVP gets decided. But again, there's also playoff narratives with both of these quarterbacks. Can they get it done in the playoffs? Can they overcome adversity, especially with Lamar? But if Josh Allen loses this game and he plays kind of average, again, we're going to have Josh Allen, is he the guy type discussions as far as that goes. And then again, I don't agree with them either, but those are the discussions people are going to have. And then, again, the winner of this game goes to Kansas City. Both of these teams have insane demons in Kansas City right now. Buffalo's lost to them 3 times in the playoffs, and we saw what happened in the AFC Championship game last year with Baltimore. So, again, this is an unbelievable game with so much at stake, so many entertaining storylines. I'm super excited to watch it. And, again, the one of these quarterbacks plays average and loses, they're going to get so much criticism after this game. It's going to be ridiculous. But, again, and this is easily the best and toughest game to pick of the weekend. It's not even close. It's so close to call because Baltimore, like I mentioned, has been so much better down the stretch defensively, best in the NFL the last 8 games in terms of points per game defensively. So I think both of these teams are each Super Bowl caliber. I'm not going to be surprised if either of these teams ends up in the Super Bowl. But I believed in Buffalo this year for the division, and not a lot of other people did. There was a lot of people on Miami, which was obviously a dumb thing to do, picking Miami to do anything good. And then there was a lot of people on the Jets, which was obviously a dumb thing to do, picking the Jets to do anything good. And I was on the Bills, and I was proven to be right on that. So I'm going to stick with them. And I think it's going to be a classic game. I think Lamar leads the Ravens to a 27-23 lead with 2 minutes left to go. Buffalo needs a touchdown to win. And then Josh Allen goes to Chris's X Factor, Keon Coleman, with 15 seconds left. And the game lives up to the hype. 30-27. Bills win.
Notice how you didn't mention the Patriots in any of those discussions because no one even picked the Patriots. No one even considered the Patriots. I'm going to go ahead and take the reins now here because I think it's unbelievable how my Dolphins, my Fins, seem to remain in your mouth. But look, quite frankly, I'm over it. I'm fine. I'm completely fine. I want to pull up this stat because I think it is very interesting. I'm going to discount the Denver game because I do think we all expected Denver to see the lights a little bit too brightly because Denver has a rookie QB, a young team in general, a young defense in general, and I don't think they were ready. Since week 12, the Buffalo Bills have ranked 27th in yards per game, and they're 30th in passing yards per game. Now, why do I mention this? We all talk about the run game of the Ravens. Well, I know the run game is going to show up for the Ravens. I know that because they have two of essentially the best rushing threats in the entire league in Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. That running game is going to open up, which is going to open up the passing game. A passing game, as like I just said, that has been struggling in the past since week 12. Now, I don't want to sit here and act like this game is going to be a slugfest for the Ravens. No, this game is going to be very, very tight, and it's going to be very, very down to the wire, and it's a road game for Baltimore. So I don't expect this to be easy at all for the Baltimore Ravens, and this is not going to be easy for the Buffalo Bills either. I'm very, very, very excited for this game. Two MVP candidates clashing. And I don't remember the last time the two front runners for MVP were matching up in the playoffs. I can't remember the last time this has happened, man. This is something special. We should cherish this. And on top of that, all the narratives with Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen and Buffalo and Baltimore heading into potentially Kansas City. I'm going to say potentially because I don't know why. I'm just getting this gut feeling in my head that Houston's going to give up a really, really strong fight. I'm still picking Kansas City to win anyway, but I don't know. I don't like the juju that we're spreading all over the Kansas City Chiefs, even though they have juju themselves. Now, with that being said, I'm going to pick the Ravens to win this game. I do think it's going to be very, very, very close. I'll go ahead and say I think it's going overtime. I think this game is going to go overtime, and I think it's going to be, Joe, it's very ironic you mentioned Justin Tucker. I actually have him kicking a 55-plus yard field goal to win the game after Josh Allen throws a pick. So, yes, I know. Yeah, they're going to win the coin toss. They're going to celebrate. Josh Allen throws a pick. And it's very spontaneous. Do I think it's going to happen? Yes and no. So, it's look, I'm just excited to see who wins this game. Regardless, I think we're going to be eating good, and I'm just straight up excited, man.
Shit, Chris. I mean, I didn't even have to pass it to either of them. Take the reins. I don't even know why I'm here right now. It's your turn. Take the reins, Chris.
Apparently, everybody's taking the reins. I, on the other hand, have been raised with humility to allow it to be offered prior to partaking. So now that I've been offered, I will partake. I'm not taking the Ravens to win this game. I think I've said it. I think I've already been on the Bills bandwagon here probably the last month or two. I think that I feel like Allen is just, he's on a, I know they're both on a mission. I'm not saying they're not. I think they're both two very good quarterbacks. Will probably be very good for the next 5 or 10 years. Probably 10 years plus, to be honest, the way that they're playing these days. But when I look at Josh Allen and I look at the amount of players and that he has around him, he doesn't have any bona fide superstars, right? But what he does have is he has people that trust in him, that believe in him, and who will go to bat for him on every play and will give it their all. I'm not saying that the Ravens don't, but I just feel like Josh Allen is just on a tear, and I don't foresee him letting this one slip away. Everything that has happened throughout the season, everything he's overcome this season, everything that everybody gave him so much enviness, I guess, if you could say. It's probably not the right to say that, but everybody hated on him really after, his wide receiver left. No one believed that he was going to be able to continue this path that he's been on, and if he's done nothing more, he has to have who has impressed everybody, NFL fans alike. Because he's done what I think a lot of people didn't expect him to do. They expected once his wide receiver, that's what everybody said. The wide receiver came, then he got good. The wide receiver left, he's not going to be good anymore. And he has proven everybody wrong. He has taken whatever they've given him, and he's made superstars in his own way out of all of them. So from that portion, I take Josh Allen. I think he's going to find a way to take over the game. I do think it's going to be a slugfest. I do. I think it's going to be a complete dogfight. I think it's definitely going to be one for the ages, for sure. But I do have the Bills taking it 36-32.
This has been Between the Uprights. Football is life. The rest is just details.